What is the best self-help book you have personally ever read? There have been so many self-help gurus and authors through the years. They have changed our lives with their self-improvement plans. And they've given us many of the best self-help books. Here's a few more books women should probably read. But who is the best self-help guru of all time? Or is it one of these inspiring spiritual bloggers instead? Here's my list. Let me know your thoughts on this one. 15 best self-help books and authors ever. 1. Deepak Chopra. Best book, The Book of Secrets. Time magazine called Deepak Chopra the poet prophet of alternative medicine. Chopra has released over 50 self-help books and is most famous for his work on enhancing the mind-body connection. He advocates such techniques as healing through meditation and body scanning. His best quote is, "In the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you." Here's what Deepak Chopra's self-help books teach. Deepak Chopra is all about using natural health and spiritual science to find inner peace. It can be a real challenge to keep stillness inside of you, as Chopra advocates. It's all those negative thoughts and doubts and worries that we mere mortals suffer. Those are what stop you from feeling inwardly still. Point 2. Eckhart Tolle. Best book, For the Power of Now. Born in Germany and educated in Cambridge, Eckhart Tolle has accomplished some truly extraordinary things. He even managed to make Paris Hilton a tiny bit spiritual. 1. She has said that she read The Power of Now while in jail. Clearly, if he can make Paris Hilton spiritual, Eckhart Tolle is one of the best self-help gurus ever. And he definitely wrote one of the best self-help books of all time in The Power of Now. Here's what Eckhart Tolle's self-help books teach in a nutshell. Eckhart Tolle's self-help books are about living in the moment. Eckhart Tolle's teachings are largely based around the book The Bhagavad Gita, which is one of the most important Hindu classic texts. Tolle also uses a lot of Zen Buddhism in his teachings. For instance, his advice on focusing on the present moment is entirely based around Zen. When you live in the moment, you naturally overcome a lot of the stress and doubts that occupy your mind. And you will also enjoy the moment more. Point 3. Jack Canfield. Best book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. Jack Canfield has done more for the self-help movement than practically anyone in history. His book Chicken Soup for the Soul sold by the truckload. And it was the entry point to self-help for a lot of people, including this author. What Jack Canfield's self-help books teach. Chicken Soup for the Soul turned spirit science into an easy-to-read page-turner. Jack Canfield's tips include positive thinking and being grateful for what you've got in life. But then that's easy for him. He's worth $25 million. What makes Jack Canfield one of the best self-help gurus? For me, it's that he's so down-to-earth compared to his contemporaries. Overcome your fear. Do one thing you think you cannot do. How? I've written a guide to overcoming fear in your life to get you started. When you do one thing you think you cannot do, you'll start to turn can't into can. What makes the Chicken Soup series one of the best self-help books of all time is that they are so simple to read. 4. Dale Carnegie. Best book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie was an American lecturer, writer and self-improvement guru. 6. As a self-help guru, he's most famous for the absolutely brilliant book on communication, How to Win Friends and Influence People. What Dale Carnegie's self-help books teach. Among Dale Carnegie's most important teachings are the idea, and now proven fact, that you can change the behavior of other people by changing the way you act towards them. He's also famous for the beautiful quote about gratitude below, "Be thankful for what you have in life." This creates a mindset of having rather than wanting. This is definitely the best self-help book of all time if you want to learn effective communication skills. Point 5. Jon Kabat-Zinn. Best book, Wherever You Go There You Are. Jon Kabat-Zinn is not as famous as some of the other self-help gurus on this list. But don't let that faze you. This guy's done more for spirituality in the West than nearly anyone. He's famous for bringing the Zen meditations to the West. What Jon Kabat-Zinn's self-help books teach. Jon Kabat-Zinn essentially took the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh and brought them to the West. His central teachings revolve around mindfulness and mindfulness-based stress reduction. He advocates getting in touch with the senses and being alive to the world. Mindfulness is the key. Wherever you go, there you are, essentially means to be present and in the moment. To accomplish that, practice mindfulness-based meditations. Try these 25 mindful habits. 6. Wayne Dyer, best book, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. Wayne Dyer is an international best-selling author of more than 30 books and one of the most famous faces in self-improvement. He's one of the most famous self-help gurus of recent times. Wayne Dyer has been all over the TV with his PBS specials. And thank goodness for that, because Wayne Dyer was a truly beautiful and inspiring man, and one of the guys who inspired me to get into spirituality myself many years ago. What Wayne Dyer's self-help books teach. Wayne Dyer advocates philosophies associated to the New Thought movement, 3, which states that God is within us all and that our thoughts and mind hold unbridled power. Much of his teachings were about manifesting abundance and prosperity. Best Wayne Dyer quote: "If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Don't just accept your own thoughts and beliefs as gospel. Challenge the way you look at the world. Look at things in new ways. This will change your perception of reality." What makes this one of the best self-help books of all time is that it is so inspiring. Why not start by challenging your beliefs about yourself? 7. Stephen Covey, best book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Who? Stephen Covey is the self-help guru behind 7 Habits, a groundbreaking self-improvement, personal development book. He also sells products designed to make you more efficient and more successful. Stephen Covey's empire sells such things as planners and schedules. Covey studies as a Harvard MBA student and approaches self-help with a business mentality. His advice is practical, straight-up, no-nonsense facts. What Stephen Covey's self-help books teach. Covey's books are all about developing a mindset of mental fortitude. 8. Napoleon Hill, best book, Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill learned his teachings from Andrew Carnegie, the American steel magnate. Carnegie taught Napoleon Hill that success was a formula, a process anyone could follow. This led to his first book, The Law of Success. This was followed by Think and Grow Rich. What Napoleon Hill's self-help books teach. Think and Grow Rich advocates 17 success principles, of which the first is definition of purpose. Now, here's how to do it. Stop wishing on the future. Write down your life goal. State it precisely. Now attach a date it. Pin it on the wall. You now have an official statement of what you will achieve and when. Now go do it. 9. Tony Robbins, best book, of Awaken the Giant Within. Tony Robbins first gained attention in infomercials where he promoted Jim Rohn's seminars. He then started his own seminars. Today, Tony Robbins is one of the most famous self-help gurus in the world. What Tony Robbins' self-help books teach. Tony Robbins seminars are known for their personality. They're designed to stir excitement. They focus on immediate action. His 2 main teachings are, 1. Keep energy and excitement high, and 2. Change negative thoughts for positive ones. His self-help books are all about developing the success mindset. 10. Richard Carlson, best book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Richard Carlson hit the bestsellers list with Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Though Carlson was panned by critics at the time, in hindsight a lot of people have come to see his works as masterpieces. What Richard Carlson's self-help books teach. Richard Carlson advocates simple and practical advice, and tells us that we don't need lofty ideas or clever plans, just a good slice of perspective. This guy is one of the best self-help gurus for simply down-to-earth advice. Essentially, his self-help books are about letting go of things. Your issues probably aren't that earth-shatteringly important. One day you'll back and wonder what you ever worried for. So you might as well just stop worrying today. 11. Malala Yousafzai, best book, I Am Malala. Malala Yousafzai is an inspiration for millions of women and men around the world. Dubbed the bravest girl in the world by CNN, 4. Malala Yousafzai risked her life for her dream, to see women in Pakistan educated and given equality. All Malala Yousafzai wanted to do was to go to school. Living in the Swat Valley of India, a region where the Taliban have taken over, education was strictly forbidden, as were visible women in music. Malala Yousafzai refused to be the victim of the Taliban's orders. The 15-year-old girl risked her life for her dream, to see women educated. She was shot in the face from point-blank range. Miraculously, Malala Yousafzai survived the Taliban's attempted murder. Her survival is a miracle for which we should all be thankful. I want to tell the Taliban to be peaceful, says Yousafzai. The real way is to fight through words, to fight with pens. That is my jihad. I am fighting for the rights of every girl. When Malala Yousafzai awoke from a week-long coma, she asked for her parents by writing on a piece of paper. She was unable to speak as she was left with a breathing tube in her throat. I thanked Allah, God, for my survival. My next thought was who was paying for me? My father ran a school but everything was rented. Malala Yousafzai truly is a role model for enlightenment. Everything about Malala Yousafzai speaks wonders of the power of her mind. The fact that she, a 15-year-old girl, risked her life for her principles, for principles that concern the well-being of others, is amazing. Clearly, here is a 15-year-old girl with the emotional maturity and spiritual development of the most enlightened adult. Malala Yousafzai was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. It was won by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. 12. Paulo Coelho, Best Book. The Alchemist. Best-selling author Paulo Coelho is an inspiration and one of the best spiritual gurus in the world. Paulo Coelho's books have sold more than 150 million copies worldwide. The Alchemist is one of the most popular books of all time. Coelho is a master. And as good as he is in print, he is equally as breathtaking in person. There's a gravity about Paulo Coelho. When I saw him speak at a conference a couple of years back, I was struck by his sincerity and depth of character. He's the sort of person you will never, ever forget. 13. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is the creator of the Art of Living Foundation, 5, and one of the most inspiring self-help gurus ever. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is the mastermind behind the Art of Living Foundation, and the leader of NONVIO, a movement which asks individuals to pledge one act of non-violence through any of the various social media outlets. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar has inspired and influenced millions of people the world over. You can tell by the speech below that Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is a truly compassionate, enlightened human being. The saying, touched by an angel, is applicable here. 14. Thich Nhat Hanh, Best Book. Peace in Every Step. Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh is one of the best self-help gurus when it comes to Zen. One of the eminent leaders of Zen Buddhism, Thich Nhat Hanh is the author of many best-selling books, including the classic Peace in Every Step. I've personally learned so many things during meditation, and Thich Nhat Hanh covers most of them. Many of the other speakers on this list try to keep up tempo and positive. Thich Nhat Hanh doesn't mind delving into deeper matters and discussing dark but important truths. For me, Thich Nhat Hanh left me